Well, Derek, sad day for everybody concerned with Essex, and I guess for you as well, but you made the decision to step down from full-time employment and leave Essex County Cricket Club.
That's correct. Yes. It's that time of life. But always go out on a high, and we've certainly had a high over the last 5 years. So the timing is good.
When you joined in February 2013, I think the landscape was quite different, wasn't it? Nobody then could have envisaged what we were going to have over the next few years. But at the time, Essex were very committed towards the ground development, weren't they?
Yes.
Which I guess, I think when you were appointed, Nigel Hilliard welcomed your appointment because of the experience you've had in business and sporting circles. And felt that you were the man to guide the club towards this development. But very soon that was put on hold, wasn't it? Can you just talk us through that transition period?
Yeah, it was a lot of analysis was done. It was a very grand scheme, costing an awful lot of money in many respects, albeit partly funded by redevelopment. We'd had conversations around a 3-phase plan or a 1-phase plan. And financially it really just didn't stack up, together with the prospect of having an Aegeus Bowl or Edgbaston Stadium in Chelmsford, given the position of the club at that time and the need for those kinds of facilities, not just for cricket but for non-match day activity. I concluded that there wasn't a market there sufficient to be able to sustain that level of investment. So we put it on hold. We then tried to scale it back down. I think the developer in some respects lost interest, and we shelved the project, which, in hindsight, very, very good job that we did.
Indeed, everybody's wiser with hindsight. I think it's a tribute to you, certainly, and the members of the committee that took the decision to put the thing on hold. They had the benefit of foresight, didn't they?
Yes.
And with the economic way the country has gone, and obviously the current situation with the pandemic, it's saved us, I guess, from being in a very serious financial situation.
Yeah, we would have been in deep trouble, I think, had we done that. Obviously, we didn't know that at the time, and we didn't know what was going to occur with the pandemic in particular, along with restructuring of cricket, which is another issue that will evolve over the next couple of years. But we would have had a white elephant for sure.
Let's look to matters on the field. All right, you weren't actually seen out there playing, but with your talismanic qualities, I'm sure you would have played a part anyway. But seriously, you played your role again with the backing of the committee, I'm sure, in deciding the financial structure, what we could afford by way of players, what we couldn't afford. And I guess that must be one of the major plus points that you'll take away with you. You've seen the status of the club rise because we spent, I think, 14 out of 17 seasons in Division 2, or almost becoming identified as a Division 2 club amongst the other counties, and that grated with everybody here, I know, who had Essex at heart. But from the moment Chris Silverwood took over, really, it was all plus, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, we had a plan, and Chris fulfilled that plan very well. Actually, he was a great appointment as head coach. And moved on swiftly afterwards. He's a talented guy. But we had a 5-year plan which we wrote, probably a year after I arrived, pretty much, having understood the business a bit more, which was a strategy based on youth progression and youth development, really, given the catchment area that we've got and the talent that we have locally, let alone bringing in players from overseas or other counties. So that strategy was executed really well by Chris, and down through the pathway, down to the younger age groups. And Anthony McGrath really picked up on that as well, so the success was built upon.
Were you on the appointments committee for both Chris and Anthony McGrath?
Yes.
So, just sort of an insight. What qualities, first of all for Chris and then for Anthony, stood out and made sure that you were happy that all the boxes have been ticked?
I think certainly, and obviously, talent and expertise in cricket. But also talent and expertise in understanding how the business of cricket works and how the business of Essex County Cricket Club worked. One of the things we put together with the strat plan was a basic value of one team, one dream. The idea that the commercial side of the club works with the sporting side of the club. And they both really got that. They both understood that if we work together with our sponsors and other partners, we can generate the kind of money that ultimately you need to be able to afford the squad that gets you where you want to be. So they were both very talented sporting individuals, but they also understood how that fitted into the business of sport, and that really worked.
You mentioned earlier the pathway for young cricketers, and okay, we know what an influence Simon Harmer has been, and the various overseas players we've been fortunate to have. I say fortunate rather than lucky, because I think we've got these players through research and contacts. It just hasn't been, pick a card out of the pack and hope that it turns up trumps. They have done, and a lot of work goes on to that. But it's always very satisfying when the younger players come through, and at the moment, again, that conveyor belt is there to be tapped into, isn't it? We've seen the development of Farouz Koushi this season has come in. Other players that we saw recently in the latter stages of the T20, the Jack Ploms of this world, Ben Allison, Robin Dash. The county is very well endowed with promising young talent, as it has been for many years.
Absolutely. Again, part of the strat plan, really. We had an overriding ambition, which was to delight our members, supporters and staff, which I think we've done certainly over the last 5 years. A lot of very joyful people out there, given the performance of the team. But we wanted to do that by gaining promotion to Division 1, staying in Division 1, performing well in white ball cricket, based on a homegrown talent strategy, augmented by 1 or 2 overseas players who can inspire the homegrown talent. So again, it wasn't luck. It was a plan that was put in place, all the way down to 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds.
Has the financial situation been very, very difficult? Insofar as there are a lot of things happen that members of the public aren't aware of, but by way of government, by way of ECB grants and things like that, how to use that money, where to use that money. Has it caused, well, it's necessarily say sleepless nights, but concerns along the way, Derek?
I think more concern in the last 6 months than in the previous 6 years, really. I mean, we were a well-run club financially. We had reserves, which many counties don't have, in fact most counties don't have. And those reserves were there partly for ground redevelopment, but also for rainy days. So we had that advantage, if you like, or benefit of having cash in reserve. We've always had a very honest relationship, I think, with ECB. We've shared very fairly in the grants that they've been distributing. And from a financial stability point of view, we're in a good place. We were in Division 2, which was the wrong division, but actually in terms of finance, we're probably in Division 1.
On the field, I think we'll call ourselves, and why not, the superpower of red ball cricket. And anybody who wants to argue that just needs to look at the results of the last few years. But that took a lot of hard work off the field, getting to that situation, didn't it? And that would have given you a lot of satisfaction to see us attain that status. Yeah, absolutely. And again, goes back to team spirit, I think, and the homegrown strategy, because the guys that play together really want to play and win for each other. And that team spirit has been very strong throughout red ball and white ball cricket, but in particular with red ball cricket. We've got some talent, who've been out there, who've come back. Alistair Cook, great example. And he's clearly had an influence over the last season or two. You said at the start you're off. What are the happiest memories you'll take away with you, Derek, of your time here?
Winning trophies.
Yeah.
That's what the sport's all about. That's what any sport's all about, isn't it? I think the double season was fantastic. Gaining promotion and then winning the championship the following year was fantastic. So it's winning trophies. That's really what it's all about.
Indeed. Derek, thanks for your time. Since 2013 and today for this insight, been very, very interesting. Thanks very much indeed. Wish you every success and well-being in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.